Welcome back to Insight. A couple guests here that have kind of the same story to tell, but from different angles. We'll find out more about this with the Himalayan shop, which is up in Garrett. We have Dave here. And then Tiny Hands International. We have Adam to tell us more about that and the partnership here that you guys have. First, let's start with the Himalayan shop. Talk to me about that.
The Himalayan shop, this is the 5th season that I've had this shop. I'm a retired teacher, so this is not what I do for a living. I'm a coward in the winter. I got to go to Arizona. I got to get out of Dodge, you know. But the Himalayan shop features artistic water fountains. We have Nepal attire, which I'm going to hook Adam with. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We have Himalayan salt lamps. We have Himalayan spring baskets. We have lots of blankets, all kinds of blankets, sports, signature heavyweights, ATJ heavyweights, Shoppe blankets, and Disney. And it's a very unique store. I've been told it's the best kept secret in northern Indiana. I kind of agree with that. And the thing about the Nepal attire, I may have one of the biggest selections in the country of all kinds of Nepal attire, such as hoodie jackets, long line jackets, long unlined jackets, cotton bags, backpacks, tank tops, long sleeve, short sleeve, kids stuff, men's stuff, but it's mostly women's stuff. And it's very colorful. If anybody has never seen this, you need to see it. And we're hooking up with Tiny Hands International through a friend, and Adam's going to talk about that a little bit. 10% of the sales for Nepalese clothing is going to go toward the Tiny Hands International, and I'm going to let Adam talk about that before.
Yeah, we'll get back to you in a second. Talk to me about Tiny Hands International. What do you guys do?
So Tiny Hands International is an anti-trafficking children's home organization. Started in Nepal. They've expanded now to South Africa, Bangladesh. They're in other countries around the world. India, they're really breaking into right now. And they're an organization, a Christian organization, that is designed and with the intention of preventing human trafficking, which is an epidemic. I mean, people are becoming more and more aware of that every day that goes by.
Right.
And specifically in Nepal and Bangladesh, where they primarily work, 30,000 children are trafficked each year into the sex trade. And Tiny Hands wants to stop that. That's our job.
So how do you go about that?
Well, there's a few approaches that we take. And the first prong of this three-pronged approach is interception. So they have 20 border stations along the border of Nepal and India. And they have border guards that are trained from Tiny Hands, and they're there looking for cultural indicators, these red flags, that send a message, hey, we're probably being trafficked. So when our guards notice that, they go and intercept, they make contact. They do what normal police do here in America. They separate the parties. They conduct a field interview where they're writing down names, information, where they're coming from, where they're going, any kind of identifiers physically. And they pull the victim aside, the potential victim, and as they dig a little deeper, if they determine, yes, this is a trafficking case, they get consent from the victim. They explain to them what's going on, because most of the time they're very unaware. It's manipulation, exploitation. And if she consents to being taken to a safe location, they put her in a Tiny Hands safe house, and they begin building a case against the trafficker, which looks like analysis. We have this thing called a fusion data center, and all these reports from people who are already in prison, from other organizations, from these interviews, go into this fusion center, which gives our investigators the ability to look at institutions, locations where we can start prosecutions.
Well, it's obviously a terrible, 30,000 cases.
30,000.
So you want to be involved in this, and I want to get my wife warm around the house. I think it's funny that you have more women's clothes. We want to find out both of these, how they come together, and how you can be involved in both activities here. Stay right there. We'll be right back on Insight.